Hi, welcome to Luxury in Moderation. This is my first video back after a 5-month long YouTube hiatus, so I apologize if I'm a little out of practice, but I did feel like I finally had important information to share with you all, and that's why I'm making this video. We'll start off with a little Hermes haul, and I'll talk about why I took my break not only from YouTube but from luxury shopping earlier this year. And then I wanted to share some wisdom that I realized as I was going through the last few months and as I was buying these haul products. So if you're interested in all things Hermes, please keep watching. First, let's get into unboxing these 3 little packages. So the first one, a very simple card holder. And this is actually from the men's line. Let me look at the receipt to give you all the details. This is called Citizen Twill. It's in the Evercolor leather. It's in the gold color. And another fun thing about this card holder is that it also has some classic Hermes silk in there. So just, being able to appreciate this new Evercolor leather and the silk, for me, this card holder was really worth it. This card holder was $465 pre-tax, but I'm going to go into the cost and how I think about what's worth it in the second half of the video. Okay, now this second box, some of you may be able to guess what it is due to the box size. And it comes with its own pouch. And this is the Kelly belt in Black Noir with the rose gold hardware. So it still has the stickers on, so not as shiny as when I finally take them off. But if you've been watching for a long time, you might remember a video where I said I would never buy luxury belts because I'm not a belt person. I don't know exactly what I said, but I do know, and I still agree, that I don't wear a lot of belts. My outfits are very simple. I've started to wear a couple outfits with a few more belts, but I knew that I wouldn't be one of those women who wear belts like every single week. So I never felt like getting the Kelly belt would be worth it for me. Although it is beautiful and, I've been admiring it from afar for many years. I do love how versatile it is because I do tend to wear a lot of things empire waist, but I also sometimes wear things like jeans where it could do with a hip belt. So because my local boutique happened to have this exact color combination that I wanted, I felt like, what the hell, let's go for it. And finally, we have this still quite small size box, but it's heavier. And this again was a very big surprise that my local store had stock. So I was very, I think, fortunate that I arrived on a day where they had this to offer me. So this one also comes with its own pouch, but inside this one is a Evelyn size, is it 16? It's the TPM size. It's supposed to be a very, very light gray. Honestly, this looks white to me, so I'm just going to call it a white bag. There may have been another video where I also said I would never, ever buy another light colored bag because I have my Chanel Jumbo in the Chanel Cream, and I'm just really worried about color transfer for that, and I didn't want to go through all the issues with having a light colored bag because I'm just not that carefree of a girl. But you can bet that I'm going to spray the crap out of this bag with my Colini Pro, which is the spray that I spray all of my bags with, and I will link it down in the comments below. I think that's definitely gonna help the longevity of this bag, not only from color transfer, but also from nicks and scratches. So I'm definitely going to spray a lot of that Colini Pro on this. This is the white strap, and this TPM currently retails for $2,200. Okay, there is the clip. As you can see, it's with gold hardware. I'm not going to take the stickers off right now and do the clip, but I guess I'll spray this strap first and then I'll do that. Before we get into, all of my philosophies, I do want to explain a little bit of why I chose to purchase this TPM. Because I stayed away from Hermes bag buying and really any kind of luxury buying the last several months, it kind of gets you thinking. It's still an interest of mine, as much as I'm going to talk about how I have decided that I had enough bags. There was still an itch internally to get some different bags, and I felt like this particular style, the Evelyn style, was different enough where I felt like it could add variety to my existing collection, that it could be useful in certain cases where some of my other bags might not be appropriate. So I had been thinking about getting my hands on an Evelyn if it were available at my boutique. Another factor for me was that I have variety in my colors of all of my bags, and I already fortunately have all of the Hermes classic colors, the black, the gold, the Eton, and the Etoupe, which I'll show in the second half of the video. So I really wanted to get a different color. My boutique only had a lot of classic colors, like they had black with gold, black with palladium, gold with gold. So I was not interested in repeating a color. Fortunately, they did have this. I would have preferred if it was something more colorful, especially in something so small. It could be a pop of color like a blue or a green or even an orange. I think it would look really cute in this TPM style. But in the end, they only had this one, and I felt confident enough that I could take care of the white, and that's why I decided to go for it, and I'm very happy that I have this now. So now I wanted to share, again, what I've been up to the last several months as I've been avoiding luxury and therefore this YouTube channel, because, I don't want to just create noise on YouTube. I want to create very useful videos. So if I have nothing that I feel like is important to share, then I'm not going to make a video. But I wanted to go through how my mentality has really changed since the beginning of the year. It already kind of started in the beginning of the year where I was working on techniques to appreciate my existing collection and to not just think about, what's the next luxury purchase going to be. And I think I really made a lot of progress. In my last video, I do want to share my most used luxury handbags for the year, because I had been keeping a tally. Like literally every time I use one of my bags, I will mark it so I know exactly how many times I've used a bag. And every time I look at the tally, it really makes me think like, oh, it's interesting that I haven't used my Birkin that much, or I haven't used my Chanel's that much. So it really gets you thinking and evaluating like what really works for your lifestyle. Why do you spend so much money to keep bags on a shelf sometimes? And for me, doing those exercises, being more conscious of where I'm spending my money and why I am buying something, has allowed me to gain some clarity and peace of, loving what I have, not wanting more, and focus less on, the rat race of just getting the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So I don't know if that makes much sense, but I think this has been a trend, at least in the videos I've seen on YouTube. Throughout the summer, there's a lot of videos of like, is luxury YouTube dying, or like why people are moving away from luxury in general. So I think I was definitely part of that movement. I just didn't have anything important to say until now, and where I feel like I actually have progress. I have proven to myself that I can stay away from watching all the luxury videos talking about the latest it bag. I really did not watch anything like that for the last several months. And I think it was really helpful because it really helped me disconnect from luxury. I also specifically chose to spend a lot of my money this year traveling, which I'm very happy that I made that choice. With that all being said, as you can see, I'm still buying luxury. I still love luxury. It's still something that I appreciate, but I just am much more conscious of how much time and effort I am putting towards not only thinking and researching about luxury, but also, you know, spending my money there, what else I could use that money for. I may buy from Hermes again in the future, but it's not really a priority for me. That gets into the second half of this video, which is about my advice for beginners. So if you are just getting into Hermes, I think there's still a lot of interest out there for the brand. You know, I'm still hearing stories about how crazy the Paris boutiques are. So it seems like there's still a lot of people trying to play the game, do the journey, get a quota bag. This is what I've realized and how I hope I can help save you from some regrets. Because I do have some, and this is how to avoid those for yourself. So my first piece of advice is, of course, do your research. Of course, understand, watch the videos, look at photos online. There's so much information out there. Go to a pre-loved boutique where you can try on the sizes. If you want to buy from there, perfectly fine. If you want to try to get a boutique offer, that's where, you know, you're actually going to understand what you're trying to buy before you actually ask for it. And especially know the prices of things before you walk into a boutique to purchase. I mean, of course, you can ask the SA how much things are in the boutique. But for me, a rule that I created for myself, or that I thought when I was first purchasing Hermes, was I thought that it's a little uncouth to talk about money, because I wanted to present myself as a very well-to-do customer or client of Hermes's. I felt like if I asked my SA how much something cost, it would sound like, can I afford this? Like, doing the calculation in my head, which I was, you know. So I feel like for me, it was always more comfortable to do the research beforehand and understand how much something was gonna cost if I planned on buying it that day, instead of asking my SA. So I did make that mistake with two items that I bought from Hermes. First is this mini ASAP wallet, which I got at the Paris FSH store. And then the second is this Kelly Dupeche pouch, which I got from the New York Madison store. You can ignore this strap. This is a third-party strap. But for both of these, I did not know the price, which would have been so easy to look up online, but I didn't even know I was going to get this bag that day, so I hadn't researched it. Turns out that this little wallet, which I thought would be around the $1,000 mark, was closer to $2,000. So this was double what I thought it would be. Just looking at it, right? I was like, how could this be $2,000? And for me, I'm still kind of shocked that this is $2,000. I mean, it's great construction. I do love it. I use it all the time when I'm traveling. There's a lot of leather and I guess maybe craftsmanship in it, but it's just like, how could this tiny little mini wallet be $2,000 to me? And then this pouch, which I had assumed would be less than their average bag prices. So I assumed it would be less than like $4,000 because it was so small. I mean, look how thin it is. This turned out to be $9,000. So again, about double what I thought it would be. I was very dumb and did not ask my SA how much it was before I agreed to buy it. Because again, I did not want to appear cheap And I know a lot of people might say, you know, that's such a silly thing. You could easily have just asked, and then if they say 9,000, how can you politely decline and be like, oh, I can't afford that? That just didn't sound like a good look to me, and that's why I avoided doing those things. But honestly, a super silly mistake to make, and either be courageous enough to ask your SAs how much something is, and if it is out of your budget, prepare a way that you would politely decline the purchase, or do what I'm suggesting and just research the price beforehand, if you can. I mean, even if it's not on the official Hermes website for you to see the retail price, there's threads like the Purse Forum where other customers help you record what the price is. So that's really helpful if you want to know what a retail price of a bag is that they never have in stock. The second piece of advice I have for people just getting into Hermes, in order to avoid any kind of negative feelings towards your Hermes journey, I would suggest that you go into every purchase, every dollar spent, with your eyes wide open. What does that mean? That means that know what you're paying for when you're paying for an Hermes price tag. So I know it gets super easy to get caught up in, you know, the prestige of the Birkin or the Kelly, like chasing that quota bag offer high, which if you haven't experienced yourself, you know, all these YouTubers or other luxury influencers are kind of blasting that into the digital space every day. And that's only one half of the equation, right? That's the half of like, I have stuff, but it's not the half of I had to lose all this money in order to gain this stuff. So if you're starting to like learn about the brand, starting to watch all these videos, and you're learning about that half of having the stuff, I would also recommend taking some time to think about the other half, which is what are you spending and losing in your bank account in order to gain this. So for me, I like to break it down into the value of the product, right? So let's take this card holder, for example. You could get a card holder like this from a bajillion stores out there, right? Everyone has a style like this. So why did I choose to spend $400 on this one? Let's just take another luxury brand to compare it to. YSL has their famous YSL card holder for $330. So this Hermes card holder is $135 in addition to that YSL card holder. So why did I spend that extra $130, closer to $150 when you include tax, right? You could justify that the Hermes leather is better than the YSL leather. For this one, personally and specifically, I do appreciate this Evercolor leather. It's very soft and flexible. There's pebbling, just like the YSL wallet, but YSL's is a harder, stiffer leather that's been coated a lot with some very shiny material that makes it very scratch resistant, which is an added bonus for that card. This one, you know, it might get some scratches, which you could buff out. But for me, I value having another type of leather in my collection, and so I'm also going to pay a little bit more for this card holder. You could also justify that the saddle stitch on this card holder is more durable than those you would find on other luxury brands. Hermes is famous for the saddle stitch. Everyone knows that it's a very great quality stitch that takes, I think, real people to do it. This card holder might last longer and the stitches might not get worn as quickly because of this quality saddle stitch that only Hermes does. But let's be honest here. The thing I'm paying most for is the Hermes stamp on the card holder. The markup for this wallet is for that brand recognition. So let's break down, you know, that additional $135 between the YSL and this card holder. Maybe I would pay $30 to $40 more for the high quality Evercolor leather. I would pay $20 to $30 more for the high quality saddle stitch. And that leaves, and more than 50% of that markup is this Hermes brand name. And I'm okay with that because I like Hermes. I like to use their things. I feel fancy when I use an Hermes wallet versus another brand's wallet. You know, that's just my personal preference. So I'm willing to pay that markup. And I am just recommending that you go through this exercise for every single product that you want to buy, because it really helps prevent buyer's remorse. Because if you're just going into an Hermes purchase thinking, well, this is my pre-spend and this is my $2,000 toward my pre-spend and this is my $3,000 or $5,000. And then if you don't get your quota bag within the ratio that you think you will, like a 1-to-1, 1.5-to-1, 2-to-1, then you're like, why did I buy all this stuff? So for every purchase, break down the upcharge, break down, what is this Kelly class belt upcharge worth to you? And finally, I wanted to share a little bit more about why Hermes has lost its luster for me. The first reason is what I talked about on that mentality that I've been working on in the last several months, where I realized I don't need anything else. I don't need to be on that rat wheel of buying more luxury. Second reason, closely related, is I already have a lot of items, not only from Hermes, but also from other brands. As I mentioned, I have all of the classic Hermes colors. So first you have the black here, which I have in a Kelly. And I have the gold, which I have in this garden party. Then I have the Etude, which I have in my Birkin. And then I do have the Eton, which I have in this Kelly Depeche pouch. So as you can see, I have all 4 of the classic colors and I have them in all 4 styles, right? So I have all the styles, you could say. I'm not a person who likes the constant, so I don't feel like I need that style in my bag. So I feel like I have the spread. If I didn't have a particular style, I might still feel like I'm missing out. And that's just a consumerism problem, right? Of all these examples of people you see online who have a Birkin, have a Kelly, and you might think, oh my gosh, everyone has one, but really no. Not that many people have these insanely expensive bags. But yeah, I have the color variety, I have the style variety, and I have a lot of variety style of bags. I have a lot of variety style of SLGs. I have a lot of scarves. Like I've accumulated enough stuff where, I think for me, I'm at the top of the curve where I don't need to accumulate anything else, right? If I was younger, if I was just starting a collection, I might be like, I don't have enough stuff. And then finally, Hermes has very clearly lost some of its shine for me because I don't think it's true luxury in terms of making the customer feel special anymore. Before, during COVID, even 4 years ago, you would hear that, the people who were chosen to get the quota bag or people that essays wanted to help is because you seem to embody the qualities that Hermes likes. Like you dress fashionably, you dress with quality materials, you exemplified a certain type of woman and clientele that they wanted to continue for their image. And that's why you were maybe Hermes worthy. But nowadays, it's not like that at all. There's no special quality or anything that they look for. It's literally a money game. If you have money, you can buy your way into the brand. You can buy your way into everything that is Hermes. If you want to spend it on the pre-loved market, even with the markups for the Birkin and the Kelly, and you pay sometimes triple the price of retail, if you have money, you can get your Birkin. Anybody with enough money can get a quota bag. And then if you want to buy it from a boutique, if you do enough pre-spend, if you just throw money at the boutique, they will offer you a quota bag. You know, fine jewelry, ready to wear, furniture. And to me, money does not always equal class. Just having money does not seem special to me. I don't have that much money, let's be clear. I'm not a heiress who can get whatever at Hermes that they want. So I'm curious what you guys think about that. I will continue to make videos for this channel if I have something I think that is valuable to share, but I may not have as much content because I am not buying as much luxury. I hadn't bought anything luxury since my LV bracelet back in April, so I took a good long break from buying luxury items, but I have been ruminating on a lot of these thoughts and I finally felt like it was the right time to share. But let me know what you think of my new purchases as well as my advice. Would love to hear what other longtime buyers of Hermes would advise the beginner buyers here. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!